for her, but
And now
it's yeah, absolutely. Looks like I'm hearing that we are now recording, so I'm going to go ahead and call us to the mat for Dojo 261 on Wednesday, September 17th. Good to see the people I see so far. There might be some new faces tonight, so if there are, I want to let everybody know that there's a react icon on the bottom of your screen. If you click that, you'll see a range of emoticon responses. The raised hand icon will put you in the queue, and I will call on you as soon as there's a space available. There's also room if you feel compelled to speak up. That can be a little more expensive though, so just be mindful of the pace of the conversation. And it's good to see everybody. How you doing, James?
I'm good, man. Let's do this. No, I'm just kidding. It's good. Good. It's interesting time. It kind of feels like COVID a little bit. Just in the air, like just the intensity, you could call it vigilance. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's the closest word we can come to it. Just sort of an activated kind of sense. I'm not really uh able to like brush it off. I just keep feeling like it's really important. Um and I keep coming back to it. So that's kind of how I'm doing. I'm distracted by things. And I'm watching everyone's behavior. I don't think any behavior is more accurate or more not. I'm using it to reaffirm certain beliefs I have about the world and adjusting other beliefs that I don't have about the world. And I kind of forget sometimes how precarious it is, how uh, just how dangerous the normal population is. And I forget that more than anything. I think that's the big stunner for me was just realizing how dangerous we are to each other really would require us to invent a government to shield that kind of fear is what I'm saying, and end up with kind of where we are today, which is a divisive system that just seems so colossally bent that there's only one way to feel, that if you are not worshiping this murder, you are celebrating it. And that phrase is the dichotomy of every single two-party thing that you've ever seen. You either have to worship something or you have to set. Well, in this case, it's always you have to be one or the other. There's no way that you can't be critical of Trump and not be a liberal, or you can't be critical of the liberals and not be a Republican. It's it's really fucked up. Like that part of the world is really fucked up. And I'm reminding myself, I would ask you guys a question. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but do you think the world is fair? And if you want to answer that question, how many calories do you lose thinking that it is, or thinking that it isn't, or thinking either way around it? Because I think we forget that the most, that who's really in the room with us, what we're really surrounded by. I wrote a really short piece about this, about You Are Here, and just explaining that it's just so hard to picture just how enmeshed you are inside of this great collective. And this collective is going to respond around you. And it doesn't matter how mature you act, you you could easily be taken out in this. You could easily be chosen as a perfect scapegoat. Some of us have had this in our own lives where we've seen this. So it's not even that surprising. But when you look at it as a mass collective, it's definitely a formidable chill that occurs in the body. And I think that's part of why I get so activated, is because I wish more people could just see a little bit more, not necessarily agree with me, but just see a little bit more. It starts with that, where you're rude to question, you're rude to even talk about this. And that's where I saw the first crust break, where I was like, wait, this is important. It's important because I'm getting so much pushback about, how dare you talk about this? Why are you discussing this? Or the instant idea that I must be celebrating something because I'm not worshiping it. And that's literally what I'm hearing. And I don't know if you can convince people that that's what they're doing, especially when they're doing it. The hypocrisy becomes uh, so evasive that it becomes hard to admit. It becomes hard to even admit that you're surrounded by it. We lose touch with words. We lose touch with just really basic emotions about, well, wait a minute, aren't I allowed to feel a certain way? Don't I have control over my empathy? Is this really supposed to be what we're doing? And the irony of all the words that Charlie has said. And let me say this, you if you wanted to pull apart my words, you could point a pretty Nazi-esque, very pro-evil, friendly. I mean, I'm just saying you could pull all kinds of stuff from my words. I don't doubt that for a sec. So even when I'm hearing people pull words from Charlie, particularly about empathy, the irony is just stinging. And I'm seeing what would be done to me, but also at the same time, I'm also seeing this constant desire that I've always had in the truth movement, which is fucking hold me accountable, fucking challenge me, challenge my words, make them prove how unworthy they are to stand in the light of day. And we don't really have that kind of system. You're watching the system right now. And so maybe that's why I think it's a good time to talk because the clothes are off. And it's just a great opportunity just to see all the naked boobies running around of everybody's stuff. And you just get an idea of how to compassionate people more, you know? And I do hope you're doing that. I know you guys are. I've seen you do it. You're probably doing it more than me. I hope that you're compassionating this. This is an opportunity to pollinate for sure, but it's also an opportunity to really learn about what a psyche under slavery feels like. I'm talking about a psyche under voluntary slavery, which means I'm too afraid to feel, I'm too afraid to express my opinion, my emotion. This guy's sort of on my side. Most of my audience is kind of on the right. So I just think it's probably just not a good idea to say anything. And we'll just let this body rot and we'll never mention it. And that's me showing respect for him. This kind of thing where I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense at all. Like, not at all. And this is the time to learn. This is the time to turn up the compassion and go, why does it not make sense, James? You've been around this for a while. Why is this not making sense? And so I've been activated by it, thoroughly activated by it. I think you're going to find certain people come into massive power over this. I think Candace Owens is going to level up like times five. And this is going to get only going to get worse, honestly. I've been watching that woman's career for a while, and I'm telling you, she's made for situations like this. She's going to thrive so well. It's going to get so much worse. And I hope I don't sound smart assy on that. I just don't know what other expression do I give when I see when I see what's happening. Like what else should I do? Because I do ultimately think this is healthy. I do ultimately think this is constructive, and we just have to live in the neighborhood, while this is happening, and take what we can from it, and do what we can from it. So, in a way, I'm kind of glad it's happening. In a way, I don't like the tepidness that we keep maintaining, especially while we're clearing countries and just passing some of the most horrid procedures. I'm not talking about Trump. I'm just talking about literally since I've been an adult. Just all this stuff comes out. So I'm not necessarily satisfied with everything being calm. That bugs me too. So in a way, I feel activated, but not necessarily negative. It's just more of what can I do that's more constructive right now? And this is why we're here having a dojo, I guess. So that's all I got for now.
We're told to pick our battles, and it seems like everybody's decided that this is the one worth picking. And so, yeah, it seems right for you to engage, especially since this is your wheelhouse. But I see a great difficulty in trying to approach a system that can't be more multifaceted than a dichotomy. And again, you're just treated by everyone like you're the opposition because you're trying to maybe shed light on a different perspective. Mary Jo, I see your hands raised. Go ahead.
Hi. This recent thing with Charlie Kirk totally kind of rocked my world a little because, um, well, first of all, I I don't know about the reality of certain things. Like, for example, the certain thing that happened in 2014. Like, I'm not going to say the name because seems like such a hot button. Like this, when that happened, I just kind of went, that's not real. So, like, I don't know how real these things are, but um, so my son's name is Charlie, and I had the same feeling back in, I don't remember exactly what year this happened, but when everybody was holding up a sign that said Je suis Charlie, um, I had this feeling before that happened, and I just like I kept going in and checking on my son because I just kept thinking, and I didn't understand why. And then the next thing I knew is all over the TV, these people were holding up signs that say Je suis I am Charlie or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's really weird. And so like this last thing that happened with Charlie Kirk, like he's always smiling and my son's always smiling. And it just like I don't know why. It just really got to me. And then my husband works for a power company and his travel got canceled because they got these threats from these whoever the threats, the transgender people or whatever that group is. I don't know. That and so they said no travel. And so this latest thing and on top of what happened last year, like my nerves are shot. And I just don't know what to think. Like I don't know why it has to be this way. I just don't know what to think about all this, but it freaks me out a little bit. And if I were to tell like people that are in my life every day what I just told you, they would think, they don't think about some of the stuff that we talk about here. And so like that's kind of just how I see the world. Like symbolism just like shouts at me all the time. So like I can't really talk about this with anybody and it scares me because like I don't know what's going to happen now. And strangely enough, yesterday, well, my son who works his butt off at school, okay, he one of his English assignments got flagged for AI and 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 so he has a tutor. And so I know my son, I'm not saying my son isn't capable of trying to sneak and use AI. I mean, of course he would try to do that, except like he knows that they check everything. And so I know when he told me that he didn't use AI, I know he was telling me the truth. And so he has an honor code violation. And I think that that's weird. Like because I know he didn't do it. And so he just wants it to be done. He doesn't want me or his dad to do anything at school. But I'm so angry because I know that he didn't and I don't know enough about AI about how to come back with that. Like anyway, I'm just rambling now. That's all I got right now.
Well, I don't hear rambling. Um,
Well, it feels like I'm rambling, but that's what's going on. It's really weird.
there's very different issues about what's going to happen in the world and what's going to happen with Charlie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
The world is better news. I don't know what's going to happen with Charlie, and that's more important. But the world is actually that's actually pretty easy. It's going to be really hard to not predict, what we're seeing, and it just being this way. But it's also really not hard to predict how many people like us are going to be falling out of that hopper and into fresh soil.
Hmm.
So it's there's an upward trajectory there. I think it's hard to deny that overall all of this angst is ultimately increasing awareness. And we're looking at a large mass of awareness that would need to occur beforehand. But look at what's happening with Musk right now. That guy's really not doing so good. And this brings me joy. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but it brings me joy because it does show me that it's just so much more expensive now to hold a facade than it used to be. I don't use the term white sun lightly here. It really does seem to be the case that it's just harder to hold these kinds of fields. People are have less tolerance for them. And so every time that you lose a lot of tolerance, someone else is going to slip in and say, "I want all the credit. I want all the mantra. I will be the new icon that takes this." And that those people will keep rising. There will still be another that comes in and they'll be smarter about it. So it'll be harder. But ultimately the system is collapsing it probably as fast, if not faster, than it's able to sustain itself. Does anybody disagree with that? I mean, it's okay. Please don't. I'm just wondering if anyone else sees that differently because what I see is a slipping and it's slipping fast. RFK was caught right before this meeting. Right before this meeting, getting the CDC lady telling her to quit because she wouldn't pre-approve all these vaccines that hadn't even been created yet. Now, I'm not saying, oh, it's all true in this. I'm trying to get you to see that this is another icon that the last glimmer of hope for the people that were like, oh, RFK is going to save us. And he does this right now. Right now. This is what I would call a blessing for Turtle Island. It's this is this is when we're supposed to be here for some reason. We're supposed to witness this. We're supposed to help it along. And in a way, I think we're doing fantastic. Like, even after COVID-19, everyone has resolved themselves so constructively, have still landed on their feet, have still, many of you, if not all of you, have actually found yourself in a better place than you were before. And so, all these are opportunities to just consider that. That's the outside. Charlie's a whole other thing because this is his world. Like it's more his world. You know what I mean? It's your world too, but it's like this is all he knows. And in a way, that's kind of an advantage. In a way, it kind of gives him more fuel to last in the craziness of it because it's not as crazy to him. It's normal to him. This is just like regular life. And I'm not saying that should make it better, but it is different. It is different. In a way, you're probably suffering more than he was because you had the yellow sun. You were you were in that light where all of us were. We were just like, fuck yeah, man. It's just the deep state. There's no problem. We got, it was just such a different psychosis then. And I think that's the best way to look at it. It's just one psychosis replaces another psychosis. And the only difference is we have constructive psychosi, right? That's actually not necessarily untherapeutic. I think we have to fall in love with the jungle again, Mary Jo. And I think ultimately, if you remind Charlie that he's in the jungle, this AI is the perfect way to learn that. Notice that this is not about honor, Charlie. Notice that this is about procedure. That you're looking at a school system that has no fucking way of knowing if you used a calculator or not. They will never fucking know.
Right.
They are employing AI to tell them when the calculator is being. That's how stupid this is. That's how naive this is because If AI could tell, then you would just ask your AI, hey, can you make this where people can't tell it's AI? And AI would go, sure. And it would fucking spit that out. It would say, I'm not going to use hyphens. I'm going to not use an apostrophe on ITIS. I'm not going to abbreviate. I'm not going to use an apostrophe there. I'm just going to say it's. I'm going to use
Mhm.
a short sentence fragment and another short sentence fragment instead of a fucking hyphen. And that this is all it takes for us to get past the border of what used to be the border before, right? Which is, hey, you kids smoking grass, or you kids doing this, or you kids doing that. So technically, the world is the same. Technically, nothing has changed. It's just that when you were wise enough to go through the yellow sun and the white sun, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
This is so much more. The amplitude is so much higher. It seems that way.
Hmm.
It is. It seems that way, but you're also forgetting that the amplitude is being learned as this is the base. This is just my first gear.
Yeah. I just I don't know. I usually I'm okay because I know I just try to get in tune with my heart, and that would be how you deal with the world. But like this last thing, like I just get so angry. I don't know. I just
What are you angry at?
angry about well, the more personal stuff. I mean the whole that whole Charlie Kirk thing was awful. Like I was scrolling through IG and I didn't even know what I was looking at. And so it was like a side view of what happened. I don't know if you guys saw the same video where it's like come from the side and then they're showing this guy's arm, like and so I was like, what am I looking at? Because I didn't know what had happened.
Hmm.
And then like when it was just all over everywhere, and then my TVA canceled travel plans for some of the employees. I just thought, well, okay, okay, this is weird. And what am I angry about? Well, about Charlie's school. So basically, we go. I loved his Montessori school. I loved it. I could be involved. It felt right. And then when those grades ran out, we had to pick another place. And we basically it's a private school. And honestly, it's to keep him out of public schools, right? Because that's how yucky they are. And so I'm so lucky and feel grateful for that. But at the same time, there's honestly there's no schools around here I like. There's no schools for him around here that I like, I think are good. And so what gets me is that it's an honor code violation, and he's only the second kid at his school for this to happen that has been through this process. And I know that he didn't do it. He says I used Grammarly, but I use Grammarly all the time.
Hmm.
Like I know he didn't do it. And so I'm furious about that.
I don't mean to keep talking, but in my mind, this is like gold because you get to be there while the world is doing this,
Mm,
right? And I would rush in as you're telling me you didn't do it. I believe you.
yeah,
And then just move forward from there and say, I want you to know that this is exactly what it's like to be in the world and be right.
yeah,
And literally every single other person doesn't give a shit. That this is exactly what it feels like. This is exactly what the practice you need. And I'm fucking proud of you. I am proud of you.
yeah. I told him I was proud of him today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants me to stop talking about it. So, he's trying to protect me at this point. Like, he's like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. And I'm like, it's not fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for listening, you guys.
You, MJ. It's good to see you. Go ahead, Lori.
Um, I don't really have any emotion about this Charlie Kirk thing. And I'm reading the chat today and I was like, I don't understand why Yesenia was so upset with that video. I just feel like I'm in another world. And it's like, I went to a writing group that I usually go to that's usually got all this politics or opposite politics or uber liberal or always listening to an NPR thing, and they're not watching the news anymore. So I'm like in this place where nothing nothing has happened. And it's surreal because I'm trying to feel into James, like what is that? I don't get it. I'm like, I'm having my own stuff. Like, I'm feeling like unbelievable. The feelings are coming in. I'm like, more of that, please. How more good can it get to? I have my golden scissors out, and I am now not going to allow this into my heart any longer with my own personal, you know, I was talking about the belonging thing and all that. And that's continuing to go on. It just plays out like the best play ever. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is this town. It's so great. I really belong here. I really belong here because I don't belong here. And I don't belong in that politics. And then I was like listening to this thing on AI. You know, we're like we're like 2 years from singularity where they're like, like 90% of the jobs are not going to be needed. And like, the thing you need to go to school for is to be a plumber. But in about 2 years, they'll be able to have a robot that's a plumber. So basically everyone's going to be in the situation that I'm at, which is like, you better just learn how to be nothing but a unique, quirky, peculiar person that's an artist. That's about all there'll be like in the world. Nothing else is going to be standing because AI is just going to do everything better than a human, everything except being peculiar. So it's like, how do you teach a Charlie that? How do you teach uh, these people that are trying to hold on to that cheese? They're just trying to hold on to their cheese. Remember that book in that corporate book we had to read if you were in corporate America? Who Stole My Cheese? I'm like, the cheese is up. And did Charlie really is this another thing? I don't even believe he died. And I'm like, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. I'm like, I'm in this kind of like weird world. So I just wanted to voice that and say, hey, what was that going? How did you what was going on with that video, Yesenia? Like, what was the emotion about this? I want to like compassionate with you guys, but I don't have any. I'm like, so there you go.
Oh boy. Hey, Cindy, you want to answer that? You
Okay.
don't need to. No, you don't need to. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's just if you click on that video, like his face gets small, and then like Trump is in his chest, and the ominous music, and like I felt like I was watching The Shining for the first time all over again, watching that video like that fear of like, oh my God, when's the shoe gonna drop? And the shoe was dropping the whole video, and it was just even the things that he was saying, it was like, oh my God, people fall for this shit all the time, and you could easily get sucked in. I was sucked in it. I felt like I was hypnotized for a moment with this retard bullshit, and then I get out of it, and I'm like, okay, I gotta tell everyone how I feel about this, and I did.
It was definitely to me, I would call it a dark video as far as the vibe and where it put me. Uh, it, James mentioned I Pet Goat when he shared the Elon one later, which was also creepy, and I certainly related to it as far as them saying, "Oh, I think they saw Phoebus from their office, and it was like this Mars." It was just some of these videos. I don't know when the Elon one was made, but the Charlie Kirk one, I guess. I don't know if he could have. I don't know if that awesome artist could have made it now, but he made it. He made it long ago. It was almost prescient.
Yeah.
As far as a sign for for what's happening. And if I may, I'd just like to say, Lori, I really relate to where you're at. I also Um, I just ran myself into the ground so much before 2020, trying to help people see or what, uh, and now I saw my brother this weekend. My wife had shared with me that he on a Facebook text had done like 60 posts about Charlie Kirk Pro, but we spoke and played some pickleball together. He seemed not at all eager to talk about anything on that subject. And I think maybe it's because, as James mentioned the other day aptly, what has shaken us from the people who aren't attached might have gotten shaken off themselves by these events, and that's why these events have a positive effect. I think it makes it easier to see these events having a positive effect. But what shook me off the shelf in 2020, it kind of almost like got my brothers to pay attention. I saw another friend who was on the other side, and he was like, "Oh," and he has no respect for me, like for forever. I mean, we were artists, but for believing in God originally, but also for falling into conspiracy theory. But he saw me at the same wedding party. And he's like, "I went down the Charlie Kirk rabbit hole," uh, and I was like, "Oh, I really hadn't paid attention to what's going on." And he's like, he starts dropping the name of uh, I'm sorry, I can't think of the. I usually can say the guy's name. Alt-right, anti-Semitic.
Fuentes?
Yes. I'm so sorry, I couldn't remember his name. My friend would have never known this man's name. I've known this man's name for a while, and to see like these people coming up and their profiles being made aware as the new set pieces are put into place, um, it's it's powerful, and I want to help. I have been a little quiet, but I've really admired the way James has handled this, and I think it's his time to shine. And I've been talking for a long time now. But thank you, Lori, for that share, for saying that. I feel like this wasn't the easiest time to say that, but I appreciate it. And
Let me say one more thing about Lori. In fact, if anyone else has Lori's stuff too, we might want to get that in. But I just want to say, Lori, I think that you show a healthy immune system. And I think that it costs you energy because you don't get to participate in this one thing with us, if that makes sense, right? So you lose a little camaraderie because you have a healthy immune system. So way to go. This is what you get for being healthy. And I just want to say I admire you for that.
Thank you.
thank you again, Lori. Hey, Brandy, you're up next. Go ahead. Good to see you, by the way.
Hey, yeah. I'm gonna share some camaraderie with Lori as well. I feel I it was the other day before the Charlie Kirk thing happened. I came into the store that I manage, and one of the employees had mentioned, "Oh yeah, did you see that video?" And I thought, my immediate thought was, whatever video they're talking about, I don't want to see it. I don't care. And I, yeah, it's tough because I don't want to have this sense of superiority on the matter, but there is this, I don't know if you guys remember a number of years, it was a number of years ago. There was like this, Gangnam Style came out, this music video. I refused to watch it because I could like how people reacted to it. I was like, I refuse. I'm not going to watch this. I don't want to be a part of this, there was some, I don't know, some fulfillment in me that I'm like, I'm not gonna witness that. And there's something similar there, with the Charlie Kirk thing where, yeah, it's tough because actually no one actually in my locality, no one's talked about Charlie Kirk, and I'm actually pleased with that. But then, yeah, it seems like to be it's a subject that's talked about on here, and I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. I want to participate. I want to. Yeah, I want to be. Yeah, I want to be there, where you guys are at, and I guess, yeah, I just wanted to second Lori's position on it. Not that I have the exact same position or that somehow we're like on the same level, but I feel that. So I wanted to mention that.
Feeling the same way as Lori, I think, as Lori and you also, and Lori mentioned also feeling actually very good in her person and her body. I feel that as well. I mentioned last time I was moderating that Renee had helped me with some issues as far as on my hoop search and finding new ways to exercise and what it's really done for me. And I feel out of step. I feel out of touch with the people who are suffering right now with this news, and I don't know how to get in step with.
I actually felt guilty for introducing the topic. I really questioned whether it was legitimate that I even bring this to patrons, because I would be uh, sort of rubbernecking everyone and saying, look at this, when maybe a lot of them weren't even doing it. And so I tried to not say anything. And I tried to keep my thoughts only on social media where it was like outside of Patreon, because I was trying to like really walk that thin line. And then I just failed miserably, because as soon as I saw the video that we were talking about earlier, I actually felt better. I actually felt that someone saw what I've been seeing for so long, and it made my heart feel so good because somebody saw that. I've felt those moments where I've heard the music, like in that video, Yesenia, but in like real life, when I've like watched the hyena doing what they do, and I feel like I'm the only one that's screaming, "Can you not see this?" And no one can. And so for me, it was like a lifeline, a really sick lifeline, but it really made me feel good. It really it really made me feel seen. I don't think Lucinda disagrees, by the way. I think we're making fun of her because of her reaction on the chat. So please hear, I'm not trying to paint as Yesenia's against the video. That's not what she meant at all, right? She was just telling you how visceral it was, because it was. And I want you to know that that visceral feeling is something that I feel very alone in having for most of my life, where I've just seen certain energy like that. I've just seen the parasite in the room, and it feels like I'm the only one. And it just feels so fucking alone to hear that buzzing and the crackling and the bug noises, and to fucking know that I'm the only person that's ever going to see this until that video. And it was just like, oh, thank God. Oh, it made me feel less crazy. But also, I had to infect you guys to fulfill that. So thank you. I appreciate it. That's all I got.
I just want to jump in really quick. I haven't seen the video or any. The only way I see news is I'll go on AI and just say, hey, what's the daily news? And just get a rundown. So that's about as much as I see it. I choose not to watch the video that, displays him being whatever, just because I don't want that. I just don't want it in my head. I like having that be, I've never seen it, kind of like I never saw Breaking Bad. I'm never going to watch it, but I don't want to have that same registry with other people. But James, I really appreciate what you're doing, because it gives me that inside look into what's going on. And I know your attention is it's you, right? And a lot of what you write, I'm resonating with. I feel what you're speaking and how it applies to what's going on right now. And it's very likened to, you're either with us or against us. That, Bush brought up in the the Iraq War. So yeah, it's a really potent time. I'm glad you're on it. I really appreciate it. To have it noted down. I just don't think I can go and watch the videos and see the newscasts. I'm like, I can't bring that in.
Yeah. So just to clarify, not that Renee doesn't see this, but if anyone else is here, I'm not talking about the video that Charlie Kirk got shot in. I'm talking about the video that I posted, which is this iPad Goat 3 animation of what's really happening. And it sort of paints Charlie as an addict. Not sort of. It paints him as an addict, which is exactly what I've been saying. And he's just suffering from this addiction to being in the center, to being in the light, to having everyone tell him how righteous he is for judging people and for firing this up more and over again. I personally have not seen, this might surprise you, I personally have not seen the other video. I've actually had opportunities, and I've been like, I'm not watching that. But I've learned that. I learned that on Two Girls One Cup. I was like, what the fuck just happened to me? And I've seriously, I'm never getting that back. That's why I was really hesitant about releasing this issue in chat. As you notice, all I did was just release writings about it or just thoughts about it. For whatever it's worth, I'm just trying to say I am kind of sick in the head because I need someone to show me that they see the bugs too. But I'm not so sick to where it's like I want to watch the video. I don't know why I need to say this. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, I think
James,
the videos you posted were with that one particular AI animator were really, I didn't, having heard those words together in one video and what his message was, I didn't really know that much about him. So that showed me a bit who he was and a little bit more about, focused on Elon too. So that's all I got. Thanks.
Yeah, those are their exact transcripts. That's why it's so creepy.
Oh, wow.
That's them talking. That's them talking, just saying whatever's on their mind. And the only thing different is it's being animated and it's being set to a music that honestly is a little bit more appropriate sometimes. That's really what happened.
Wow. I'm glad I saw that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, James. And I trust that I can say what I say. Lori says what she says. Renee, everybody. But speaking for myself just now, I hope you know that I say what I say as a person who's shoulder to shoulder, man. I feel like you got me where I'm at. You deserve, I really feel like you get a lot of credit. I give you credit for that, and I mean it. And that's why I'm here. It's because you've put me in a state where I'm a little stronger and I can navigate these times a little more competently. And as far as being out of step, like I said, that I've always been out of step, and very rarely is these kind of circumstances where I feel like I might be suffering less than the others, or I don't, not to victimize. I don't mean it like that, but everyone's going through all this tumult. And Deb, thank you for being patient with your hand. How you doing tonight? Go ahead.
I'm good. I just wanted to reiterate, I don't see why this guy's death is such a huge deal. It's not like he's Jesus. I mean, what am I missing? I don't listen to the news. I don't watch anything. And so I feel like I'm missing some big picture here that's like, what the fuck? That's all.
Anybody think about anything like that? I mean, do you think, does anyone here think that there's some sort of, do we even need a dog whistle? I mean, is it just the symbolism is just so ripe, that,
yeah,
I mean,
as an alchemist, that's the only thing I could say is as an alchemist, the symbolism and the timing and the trends and the intersections is interesting. Like it's very, very volatile. And I do think that you're looking at a new era. Also, I have some thoughts about it does very great opportunity to bring in the right to and to center it and to make hate speech a bipartisan kind of thing. I think that there's a lot in there. So
are you saying that something good might happen?
no, well, good for us as Luciferians, yeah, good,
okay.
good in that
All right,
way.
good. I'm happy now.
Yeah, good in that way. But when it comes to like corralling, if you're like we have to save America, like
yeah, no,
you're fucked, man. because now the right flank is now coming in saying there's hate speech too, and ultimately what I see happening is that we get to learn the meaning of free speech, and it's a brutal lesson. And I think we can handle it. I think it's a good time to handle it right now. It's necessary, it's apt, it's coming, and there's nothing you can do. I'm just saying that that's how it feels when you're in the blob is all. So in that perspective, I think it's huge. But really, Deb, I think you have a good point. There's really nothing intrinsically crucial about this except for that every single hyena is completely and me is completely focused on this right now, which opens the potential for a lot of massive change to occur. And many of those changes probably aren't going to be that comfortable, right? But some will too. So it's a good point. I agree with you.
Just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing some huge thing that everybody knew about, because I really don't pay attention. I wouldn't even say the Pledge of Allegiance in 8th grade because the Vietnam was on TV every night. So I don't have any patriotism whatsoever. But, I'm sad that people are sad, but in a way, if it's going to bring attention to some much needed, you know what I mean, spotlighting, that would be good. And I've thought that people were totally numb since they elected Trump the first time. So I'm sorry, you guys.
Good to hear from you, Deb. And good to see you also. And I noticed you're in a different posture tonight than normal, and you look great.
Thank you. I'm up. Yeah, I don't do well in the morning, but I'm good at night. And I finally found out, I was reading the book about Ehlers-Danlos, and it says because we've been asleep for hours, it takes a really long time for all the little systems to come back on board. So anyway, thank you.
Lauren, I missed you. It's good to see you tonight.
Hey, missed you guys too. I've been kept quite busy lately. I didn't mean to see the video. I just trusted a link in my email from someone who always sends me videos. It would have been nice to have some sort of warning though. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about all that. I was wondering if we could talk about the rejecting of the title of healer from Monday's dojo because that was great. I'm not trying to lessen this topic though at all. I just don't have much to say about it. Would rejecting the title of healer be something like healer fatigue without calling it inertia? I'm wondering if you could do that because, I'm on the path to soul consciousness, and as I advance, people will be put in my path to help me, and also people in my path to help them. In the last few months, that's happened a lot. My schedule's completely thrown off. I don't really like it very much, but I know it's something that has to happen. It's beautiful and I'm honored, but it's draining. So there's a lot of people locally that just need help in some way, and some people from far away. And I can see that I'm seeing more now than ever before. And that exposure, it's kind of overstimulating and it'll throw your balance off. It's been throwing off my ability to study as hard as I normally do, my volunteering, which that I love doing that. It's something that just is very freeing. And also showing up here from time to time, I'm finding that healers also need to be healed to keep all of this up, to keep up the balance. And I like that you guys talked about home too on Monday, because all of this traveling and me being kept so busy, I'm realizing more than ever that this is my protective bubble. I can operate from here. Can play secrets here and I can practice magic, and then that can shine out to the outside world. So that's all I had to say. I missed you guys, and I'll try to be back more because I'm trying to keep my balance.
The topic's back up. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say on on us, perhaps, or any of us? When one dismisses the label of healer, or
I think
I
that
really
the,
I
the
really
ones
like I really like what Lauren had to share, because I think it is a fatigue, and like getting that peace back home. I mean, I've had so many like things that now this balance is coming in, but I've actually been really selfish. I've canceled all my plans. I mean, there's all these little things that I tried to belong to that wasn't me to be really belonging. So that this energy of being this reluctant healer, I was leaking energy while I was doing what I was doing, unconsciously leaking it. And now that this home is found, which I found it, and it's so beautiful, that then I think the healing's not going to take as much calories. So that was my opinion. So from my observations of self.
I was just going to add that sometimes we wonder what a healer really means, and a lot of us, I think, acted poorly by rejecting. I mean this with love, but by rejecting the whole label of healer. And maybe one of the reasons why we reject that is because we're not actually really willing to heal. What I mean by that is that it could be that I'm just cruel. I've been called a narcissist a lot this week. Been called horrible names by saying what I say. It just doesn't matter. I'm just saying that I've been saying those things. It does matter because I reflect on literally everything. But luckily, I have more doubts about myself than anyone else can keep up with. So I'm still waiting to find someone that's like going to catch up with me and be like, dude, if you want to fucking hate me, you need to fucking try harder because I've got like a long list going here. And it's true. We stalk ourselves to avoid being stalked, and we stop healing to avoid the responsibility. In my mind,
I
in my
I
mind,
like that reluctant healer, but sorry,
no. So what? What were you gonna say?
just that I like the reluctant healer term.
Okay, I think the reluctancy comes from the fear of what it truly takes, and I think sometimes what it takes is to cause some damage, is to do an adjustment. If you really care, it's gonna be a little bit scary. It's gonna be a little bit uncomfortable. And who am I to practice such things? What certificate do I have? Why do I think it's okay to do this? And in a lot of ways, I hate to bring it back to this, but in a lot of ways, I think that what's happening with this issue is the opportunity to exercise myself as a healer. But it's the kind of healer where I'm not trying to make people feel better. No, no, no. Because you know why? Because I'm trying to heal people. I'm not trying to make people feel better. We have analgesic. That's a department that's huge. I'm not in that department. I fucking suck at analgesic. Do not come to me for, I would like to eliminate the feeling of this loud hurts. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you because I don't know how to get rid of it. But instead, when you see someone suffering, just fucking push them. Just push them. Have faith and confidence that this is going to be better for them. It's like one of the horriblest stories, probably. You guys are probably going to hate this. Don't do this to me, okay? Do not trust me with this. And I'll tell you, there's a guy named Ceiling Fan Man who used to love the show, and he would call all the time, and he was so personable, so charismatic, and he kept saying how he wished that he had the balls to be online, that he wished that he had the balls to speak out. And the whole time I'm like, you guys need to develop your own voice. And he would take my witness instead of bringing it to Dojo, and he would covet it separately, and all he would do is dump on how he just couldn't believe how brave I was, and that this is an improper power structure. He's praising me. I don't feel comfortable with that. I think what he means is he wants to be me because I have a nice, huge, healthy ego. I mean this literally. I don't see a threat from him wanting to be me. So I just hit go live. Now we're talking and he's fucking live. And as I'm talking, I'm telling him, so Ceiling Fan Man, this feeling you have about wanting to be live, what's actually stopping you? And we go through all these conversations. And then I start to say, well, how would it feel if you were to know right now that you were live? And he was sort of playing around with it and joking. And I just kept asking him, but how would it feel? How would it really feel? And he threatened to sue me. He had his lawyer call me. He was very angry. He was never spoke to me again. And he went out and started his own channel. And he went out and awoken the earth and did all he did in a very creative way to inspire others and to spore others. And sometimes I would happen upon his channel and he'd talk shit about me, talk about what a piece of shit, Luciferian I was. And that felt really good, guys. That feels really good. I'm really proud of that. And I knew that I knew when I saw how he was reacting, I'm not going to be able to keep this friend. But also, when I have a friend, if you threaten to sue me, I don't want to be your friend anymore. So there's already that. That's just how I am. But I'm just sort of like, look, he actually came later and said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean." I was like, "Look, I'm sorry. That's just one of those things where I know that you might think this is very petty of me, but this is me." And if you're going to come out with, "I'm going to sue you," I just don't want to be your friend because I literally said this to him. I want this to sting for the rest of your fucking life. Don't fucking go around telling people you're going to use the same Babylon that you pretend to fight against to fucking silence me when I'm practicing shamanism on your ass. What the fuck did you think was going to happen, ceiling fan man? You're coming into my fucking cave. Why are you so surprised? And that guy does not like me. He will never like me. And that I love him. I'm so proud of that. And that medicine required him to despise me. It was the only way. Same thing with a dog, right? Same thing with anyone that's injured, an animal that's injured. You're trying to save the animal. The animals, you know that part of this is the animal's going to have to associate you as the cause just for a moment. But it's going to help them. And you're willing to do it, aren't you? You're willing to do it. This is the healing that I think most of us are afraid to do. I think it involves being very authentic, having a lot of confidence, walking into the room and noticing what is the hardest thing to be said right now that would be constructive. And then not championing it, dying on the sword, letting the room kill you.
Right, here I go. Jason Brashears. I called it yesterday, and in the last episode I was with you, I was called Dr. Fledermaus. And I saw you flaming up, and I didn't dare to come back. So I had to reflect on myself and your reaction was the reaction my father always gave me, that pushed me away. All right, I will shut up. I want a peace. But I love you because, yeah, you really research everything. I'm a lazy guy. I'm just listening, and I'm interested. And hey, wow, oh, that makes sense, and that makes sense. And so I followed a lot of people to get to the truth of the matter. And through you, I came through this man who, this Gnostic guy.
Miguel.
Miguel. And he had an interview with a lady who translated the Gnostic version into a child book. And she was explaining to me how God works and this whole story. And suddenly I could sense God in every neuron through my body. And I recalled this feeling from a paddle trip I took a few years ago, where I met God. I spoke to him, and I realized it's just me. I was talking to myself, but I knew it was God talking to me. It was very confusing. The feeling I had was sensational. I felt like in heaven, but it was also boring. And I found out, because I asked God, am I dead? And I responded, yes. And I felt the truth. And I was so disappointed, because the feeling was heavenly, but it was boring. And there was a time where I came with the knowledge of we are all one. And I reflected that on God. And then I tried to compassionate God. And I wondered why he created the world. And I thought, well, if God is only one, oh my God, he doesn't have a mom and dad. He doesn't have brothers and sisters. He has nothing. The only thing he has is his imagination. And from pure boringness, he split himself into you and me and all the others. And I was really confused with all these thoughts. And when I heard this story today, where I sensed God in me, and I was recalled to the divine plan, because I was looking for the leader in me, the man who takes charge. And suddenly I felt companion. I felt I had a friend, and he's looking with me. And in my loneliness, yeah, I was lucky. I was feeling happy. And yesterday or the day before, I mentioned Jason Brashears in the comment about what he predicted, and you dared me by or you give it this give it again, and then and well, I felt the urge to confront you with this, because I think you are still in a kind of struggle where there doesn't need to be a struggle. And yeah, well, there you have it.
Thank you for bringing this up, Stephen, and I'm more than happy to address it. There's also two hands up, and so I don't know I'll quickly say this. We don't need to, however you want to stay on this, we can. It's funny you brought this up though, because it's exactly what I'm talking about medicine. Dr. Phil, the moniker that Stephen uses, I've seen around. I've actually enjoyed his contributions in the past, which is why I chose to respond exactly the way I did. And he made a comment about how Jason Brashears of Archaic has predicted that there will be a new religious Reich. I think that was your comment, Steve. Maybe it was someone else's, but it was something along that line. So a very legitimate, fine comment to make. Probably surprised the shit out of some people that I responded this way. And my response to one person is that that dude's a sexual predator who's on a sexual watch list, and I don't want to see him on my channel. And I said the same thing to Steven. I said, if you bring that name up again, watch what happens. I was happy I did it. I actually know how many people watch me that watch him too, because I've not only have I gotten death threats, but I get a lot of just shit like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Archaic knows it all. You're copying him. Just all the stuff.
Yeah, it's that blind faith you were talking about.
And the thing is that 2 months ago, I didn't know that I was going to have a problem with Jason. I actually thought that we might have something in common. And I reached out to him on Twitter, and his behavior was just fucking horrible.
Yeah, you explained it all.
It was the behavior that you would expect from someone who'd been accused of sexually assaulting someone with a deadly weapon and was now out on the street pushing a narrative that Zecharia Sitchin was somehow a secret underground academic work that had been unearthed from a secret tomb, and no one else had ever read this stuff but me. And this is exactly what it's like to feel the bugs, guys. Because you're surrounded by 20,000 people that are chanting more, more, more to people like Jason Brashears. Guy that probably held a gun in a child's mouth while he fucking had sex with her. And that you're looking at tens of thousands of people, one of which used to be in our group. And I said, Steve, I can't fucking have you here anymore because you will not shut the fuck up about that guy. I do not know how else to make this expensive for you. I do not know why we are pretending that we do not want to be ruled by pedophiles, and the fucking truth movement goes right to a goddamn pedophile and says, will you please put your genitals in my mouth and just whistle so I can gargle on what you have to say? It is one of the most disgusting, vile things that I see, and I have no choice. I have to look at it. I have to face it every day in my comments. I get to have Jason tell everyone I'm irrelevant. I'm a danger to his community. Fucking pisses.
Is that still?
pisses
Is that still going on?
I'm not involved. I don't know what's going on. I'm just telling you what happened. Telling you what did happen. I'm telling you
Yeah.
why I don't even want to do a YouTube channel anymore when I'm surrounded by that. When I'm so surrounded by the let's listen to a fucking pedophile steal work from someone else and pawn it off as if he's some esoteric fucking genius. When I see people comparing me to him, it makes me want to quit. You know why? I've never shoved a gun in a child's mouth and fucking had sex with them. And I don't know why I now have to compare my work to his. I do not know why. I don't even see anything wise in his work. I read Chromonicon. I got through page 3. There were so many fucking lies talking about plagiarism in that thing on page 3. And I wrote an article about it on Substack. And that's when all the death threats came. It's no big deal, but it's just you learn about your audience. You know who the fuck you're talking to when you get that shit. So to me, the medicine is this is exactly what happened when Dr. Phil said this. I'm like, fuck, James. Do you want a successful channel or do you want to sanitize it from this? And for the 17,000th time, I tripled down on I want to sanitize the channel. I do not want to be successful if this is the fucking shit I have to put up with. So I'm glad I posted it. I hope that others see it. I didn't just block you because I wanted to use you as an example that anyone else I want them to see. I don't have any wiggle room on this. I don't know how to wiggle on this because, frankly, you're making me lose my desire to even want to see this world. Watching all of you fucking parade around that guy like he's got something. You're looking at prison musk. You're looking at the confidence of a fucking felon who knows how to lie. And it's so gross because this is what Hollywood does. It's what Washington, D.C. does. But for some reason, everyone in archaics is so convinced that they got it all fucking figured out. And they're the only ones. And it disgusts me. You don't disgust me, Stephen. It's nothing against you. I don't even want to make it expensive for you guys to check out his work. I don't.
Thank you, James. And I think I take your meeting. And Stefan, I went ahead and muted you. But you know, if you've got something else you want to talk about besides archaic, you can go ahead and come in. I do want to piggyback off of what you said though about this interview with Miguel, the woman who was talking about the language of God and how you found God in yourself and asked God if you were dead. Earlier, I told James I was shoulder to shoulder with him, and I regret saying that, but it seemed like the best thing to say versus saying I was behind you, because I'm not behind you. I'm not, I don't have some advantage from behind your back, and I'm not in front of you. I'm not leading, but I was just trying to say that I'm with you. But there's a lot of things I can't say about myself. Because I hold the craft so high. I can't call myself a healer. I can't call myself a writer because I hold the craft so high. But I'll tell you, in 2020, whenever I was purging, I had to tell myself, as far as every facet of medicine, that I was the healer. That the body heals itself. So what does a healer do? Because there are some healers in this room, goddammit. And I mean, I'm sorry for the language, but what does a healer do? It's the empathy. It's like James. It's the contagion, man. And so yeah. So James is a healer, and I have gone through some profound changes for the better, transformational, since 2020, and a lot of that is my own work, James. I'm not trying to give you all the credit, or we need healers, and because we are healers, we got to be taught how to heal ourselves, I don't mean to take the conversation away from where it was going, but I appreciate Lauren bringing it to here, and I'd like to continue that if we could keep it going. And but Mary Jo, whatever you got to talk about, thanks for raising your hand. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that sometimes being a healer is like when Lori said, I'm sorry, I can't compassionate with you guys. I don't even know who this is. like if you think of us on an airship right now, and like say one of the dolphins is kind of rocked and like me or something, then it'd be great when like Lori's going, well, I don't know why you're like, I'm not feeling that. Like, because it keeps the airship afloat. So sometimes a healer is somebody like they'll say something like that. And also, I was thinking that yes, I usually I'm always walking around like thinking that shit's not real, that's not real. And like there are people around me that like think things are real. But like ever since I had this thing happen to me in 2014, I had became like this autistic a little bit person because I just didn't see reality the same anymore. So I'm often the one going, I don't know why, I don't know why you guys are all like worked up about such and such. Like, so I totally get that, you know?
In a way, that's a kind of weaponized, I mean, strategic apathy, meaning that Lori's able to regulate the group to a higher place because she precisely chose to not absorb this. And so
Yeah.
she has extra calories in that way. So yeah. So see how apathy is medicine, isn't it? Every weapon, everything in your toolbox
Right.
is medicine. And if you look at them like weapons, I think you'll start to warm up to why you don't want to be a healer. Because
Right.
this is what you have to do. You're going to have to do this. Stefan, I just want to say thank you for bringing it up. I mean, it's not really something I want to talk about. We can talk about it more, but it's just I'm weak on this. I'm not going to be the best person that's going to give you a fair, non-judgmental view about that person or his work. And it's someone that I've tried to discuss with before, and really made it clear he doesn't want to discuss it. So I don't really know what else there is to go with that, except for I appreciate you wanting to confront me on that. It means a lot to me. It really does. So thank you.
I want to continue a little bit about this, not specifically the person, but the thing I saw happening between you and him is the same thing you were talking about, the Green Party and the Blue Party. And I happen to follow you two from the same time on. I discovered you about 4 years ago, and I've seen you both grow. I've seen you both tell me stories, and I could, well, they were interesting, to say the least. And I do not know anything about your past. I do not know anything about his past, only the thing he says. And that's, for me, there was enough. It was about what did he had to say. And 2 weeks before your confrontation with him, I was thinking, oh, that would be nice if you two could come together, like the Green Party is meeting the Blue Party, and there we have a bigger truth. And when it all collapsed, it made me so sad. And what I think I see you doing is blocking this. And I see the same thing with Jason. And I see that as yeah, like in the politics, zeg maar, the blue party, the red party, of the red party, the blue party, they won't listen
Stefan,
to
don't
each
you
other.
think you could be blocking
Yeah?
the fact that you're listening to a pedophile and just pretending like it's normal? Does that not bother you at
No,
all? Because you're literally saying,
no.
look, I don't know what he did, but you do. You just Google it. All you do is Google it. There's a victim statement, there's a family statement. Why are you saying
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't matter? That all that matters is what he's saying? Why do you think that his life doesn't matter? That the quality of his life and how he's treated people his entire life, why is that not a factor? This is why I want to quit. Because it
Mm-hmm.
means every single fucking thing that I did in my life where I had to fight for to make sure I did the right thing means jack shit to you. Because what's important is, are you being fucking entertained? Are you being
Yeah.
tickled in the right fucking way by the right fucking voice? And that's my only criteria to measure up to him. You're comparing me to him as if we are two equal parties, and we're not. I've never fucking raped someone. Nor have I lied about it.
You are two different
Nor
parties.
have I come out and said to the rest of the world, I'm completely innocent. I never did anything wrong. These people in Texas just wanted to fuck with me. And it takes millions of dollars to prosecute someone for what he did. Millions.
You know, I'm looking at this, James. It's like there's a lot of calories for a person that doesn't have much zetetic experience and is just coming in to talk about YouTube personalities. Why don't you just share your zetetic experience here and like leave this thing out that James has been more than real in the whole time that I've ever been here. It's about his realness, sharing his realness, not his zetetic bullshit. So I'm just tired of the zetetic bullshit men coming in here and like taking up time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Lord, thank you.
Amen. Amen.
I felt James there because he said he wanted to talk about something else and just drug it right back. So yeah, Stefan, raise your hand next time you want to talk. Otherwise, Yesenia, go ahead. Thank you, Lori.
Yeah, I have one thing to add on that, and then I'll get to the thing that I wanted to say, is that if we go 6 months ago, James already talked about that, and he wrote about that, so you can read about that if you want to stay informed. Now, what I wanted to say is, James, don't feel guilty for bringing up Charlie Kirk. Like that was my news outlet. Like if not, and it's a real thing. Like it's a real thing. Like I used to be this truther that was like the news doesn't matter, it's all fake, but it's not. Like due to the fact that there's like a collective that believes in it being true, it's not. And the fear is real because I felt it in that video. There's a collective that feels that dark pit, that hole, that hopelessness of we're going to hell. And that's what really scared me about the video. It's just like the connection is there and you can easily latch onto it. Those tentacles are up in the air like an angry octopus ready to latch onto anybody. And that was what scared me the most, is like it's so easy with all the distractions around to just, especially my age group, like I feel like it's all of this is being targeted for me. Like for my age group, I look around and I live in a predominantly democratic community, so there's like a moment of silence, of peace here. It's like eerie how no one's talking about it. Like you're the only one that I heard it from. Everybody else is talking about some other fucking animal friendly law or some, it's like something else. It's about the trans community. It's about this. And I don't got any qualms with anything. I just see all these little egregores becoming their own vortex as the republic is forming. Because as you said in the Yellow Pedal submarine video, like America was already sold. So all of this is already in the making. We're just watching it. So that's it.
Yeah, it still makes sense to feel. I think what I'm ashamed of is my weak immune system, Yesenia, and that I could. I mean, I can say this, Lori. It's okay. There's room. Seriously, I wish that I would have had a stronger immune system about it. That's all. I mean, I'm glad I said what I said, but I'm just saying the regret is more about that. It's more about, be cool if I could have more come in and said, "Hey, you guys, I learned a new way to tickle. You ready for this shit?" And like that's a different place to be. You get what I'm saying. I will say this really quick though. I don't want to make an assumption about you guys, but I'm guessing that probably people would probably accuse you maybe of being more on the right than on the left if they were to stick that at you. Maybe not everybody. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because in my mind, that's actually what made me bring it up. I was talking to a guy on Facebook and I noticed how expensive he was. Like, don't look, man, we're sort of from the right. We kind of have audience there. So, and that's what made me go, oh my God, now I have to say something. It was that. That's what made me realize, this is the excuse I'm giving, but this is what made me say it's okay to say something. It's because I saw the application of medicine would be very important right now, precisely because of the fact that the words of what Charlie Kirk said are so powerful. if you consider what he said about empathy and what he said about justifying a few deaths a year. Like I said, I'm not saying that those words are horrible. I'm saying that because he said those words and because those words are in the vernacular, you're looking at some serious, serious, powerful magic around those things. So it almost feels like you kind of have to do that. Quick point. I just don't want to hide it from you guys. I kicked that guy out. I just didn't want to. Just an FYI, I don't want you guys to think that he left on his
As
own.
you should.
So
Thank you for that. I felt like it was a really good practice. I don't ever come in like that, but I was just like, wow. I feel like this thing that you're doing, James. I don't think that I have more immune system. I feel like I was just doing my inner work and this thing occurred. And I was like, I think it needed to be said. And I think you came out on social media like a rock star. I am like thinking, oh, wow, I never kind of thought about it that way or this way, because I used to be left and then I was considered right, but I'm not either left or right. I have two wings of my bird and I see both sides and I try to compassionate both sides to wherever somebody else is. So the level up that I just received from whatever that thing that just happened with that person, I was like, dang, thank you for that one. I really appreciated that, because we've all been here before. And James, you've been nothing but transparent. I'm like, dang, it was good. That was good. All of it's been good. I am just learning. I'm like, it has nothing to do with my immune system being better. It's just that I'm doing so much inner immunity. I think maybe that's what you see, you know? So right on.
Right on, Lori. Flying in the ambivalent skies. Go ahead, Deb. Hey, Deb, you're muted. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say my name is Deb and I'm a healer.
hi, Deb.
All right, that's all.
Can I chime in on the healer part?
Yes, please, Nancy.
So that's a biggie for me right now. So I mentioned something Monday about a word, attention, and I actually listened to this person who, I don't know if it's true. I sensed that it was, but he kept talking about how, humanity, I kept sensing he was talking like, we have this willpower, why he healed himself from this. He was like paralyzed, whatever. And he was just putting in this light. And I just was like tuning. Actually, I have seen this person before and he does interest me, but I don't, he confused me because in my growing, attention is something I can either be, like conscious of my attention or unconscious of where I'm putting my attention, right? How we can be, you're driving and next thing you know is, gee, where was I, for those 5 minutes. And he gave me like this surge of, oh, I can I guess what I'm getting, I want to grow more willpower or grow more maybe immune system. Because honestly, when all this happened for me last year, and it's still there, it's like I'm finding it hard to want to continue living sometimes. It's like I'm not like depressed and I'm enjoying my life, but it's like I'm okay with whatever happens. And a part of me is like, is that wrong that I'm okay with however like this thing? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can kind of hear him a little. It's been on my mind off and on actually, since I was diagnosed. But then this whole thing with, I made my decision. I am not going back to Babylon at all. I mean, at all. And my husband's having a little hard time with that. But it's me, it's my body, and I need to be selfish right now. I just want to be selfish because it's what is going to nurture me And yeah, I haven't slept real good last couple nights too, so I know that's why I get kind of like my waves get a little. I don't ride the waves as smoothly, so I get really. But real quickly, Deb and I, we've been talking a little bit, and so her and I have a similar interest. This woman, her name is Lynn McTaggart, and she has done so many studies with people bringing their hearts and minds together, and like literally affecting like crime in DC and stuff. I mean, and like tangible, stuff that they could measure and document. So her and I, we went to, and it's not, we're just now talking about it, but we want to like kind of do this together and invite whoever might want to. But, and all it, we haven't even really talked about what we would do, but mainly we would just like say, do 15 minutes of just where we are, just be where you are. And we're like, say somebody here needs their immune system more supported or whatever, however Deb and I could like take this time and just, you can use the word pray, meditate. I just like being present with these requests and seeing the person and just doing, we each can do our own thing. So I wanted to put that out there, and I didn't mean to take up this much time, but yeah,
No,
that's creative. I like that creative.
yeah. I've been using my bed a lot lately, Nancy. I've been casting a lot of magic in my bed lately. During the afternoon, I'll find myself oddly going in there and just laying down. And it's not that I'm tired, I'm just laying down and I'm fantasizing. I'm like putting things in their place and picturing things and stuff like that. It doesn't have to hurt, It just requires the witness and the time that you're worthy of that. I wish I'd do it more. Uh, you know, maybe we should never stop taking naps. Maybe that should be kind of like for everyone, you have to do that. So
It's great to hear from you, Nancy. And well, I mentioned earlier a sort of epiphany for myself about the body healing itself, which should have been obvious, but I didn't mean to dismiss the power. James was talking about the self-witness in the bed. Yeah, absolutely. But and also the power of a second set of eyes, and and so yeah, this idea sounds wonderful, and I hope to be included if anyone starts to take part in that. If they could include me, that'd be great.
since we got a few minutes, although Renee, is your hand up, Renee? Was it up? Well, okay. Well, I'll just say really quick. I want you to consider how powerful it is for you to not fake this, but to literally just have a positive outlook over what's happening right now, because it's easy just to focus on this is just more building 7. It's just faster now. It's every day, and that you've learned to survive through the worst of this, and that what's going to happen is actually going to be much more predictable than you've thought, and that you are so far ahead of the curve that honestly, quite frankly, I don't think any of you are in danger from the deep state swallowing you. I think that you're just too far ahead. And I only say that simply because there's just a lot of the herd that's just slower than you. It's just numbers, right? It's just numbers. And that confidence actually can be a kind of magic. That you can actually take that out into the world and say, I'm actually optimistically Luciferian about it. I'm really noticing how powerful this term is, guys. Because you're literally grabbing the thing that everyone else is saying is responsible for it. It's kind of like when I'm saying all of you need to be Christians. I'm not trying to convert you, but think about it. If all of us were to say we're Christians, the Christians would be fucked. Because we'd be there. We'd be there making the yard better, making the basketball court, painting the lines on the parking lot, right? Volunteering at the picnics. We'd be there. And what the fuck are they going to do then? Right? It's not always what you think. What the medicine is not always what you think. It's really powerful to do these other things. And it's hard too. I feel horrible right now for what I did to Stefan. I wish that I was just cooler with this. But it fucking makes me mad. I should have raped people. I literally should have just raped a few people when I was younger, because why is there's nothing wrong with that at all. It fucking pisses me off because these guys are the good guys. They're literally walking around saying, we're the good guys. And I wish I could act better, but I can't. It makes me so freaking uninterested in the
In
world.
in your defense, he said something the second time. The first time he was bringing something possibly to your attention, wanted to discuss it with you, and then he opened his mouth again. And this is the place where you know, sit back and shut the fuck up. And so I don't blame you for kicking him out.
If I had more compassion, though, I could just see the hyena for what it is. I don't mean this in a derogatory way. I know it sounds that way, but seriously, like, hyenas are cool as fuck as long as you know this is what it is. Like as long as you know what it is.
Well, it's nice when they show themselves sooner. You know, you don't have to wait around as long. So I think I appreciate that he kind of showed who he was, and it's in a lot of these cases, the density is what just, I can't believe the level of density that they're not seeing or they're not hearing what they're saying. And I'm like, but that also is the weight. It weighs down the density. So people use density, whether intentional or not, who knows where it's coming from, what core thing they're situating. Like maybe he has a thing. I don't know. I don't even want to go there, but the density just beyonds me. And yeah, I'm glad you bounced him, man, but I'm glad he said that again. And then you saw who he was. So it was quick. It's quick.
It was very similar to what happened with Zaralift. I was like, it's like all this ass licking. So he came in licking your ass, then he's licking the Jason's ass. I'm like, what the fuck? Why don't you speak about your own ass? It's like, I'm like, really? I mean, how are we going to elevate unless we examined our own thing? So if you're just a watcher, just be a watcher.
Mm-hmm.
So James, why are it with your, I'm going to lick your ass, you're a genius. Why do you get riled by somebody like that? That's like my question.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like, yeah.
I was going to tell you guys this. If you want to know the real truth, I think some of the biggest sources of vitriol from me come from this and Owen Benjamin. There's just such a strong sense of injustice.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
And I learned that if you have Asperger's, which I've been accused of, not like in a bad way, I probably would be diagnosed as that if I was looking for a diagnosis. And one of the key traits is they just lose their shit if there's not justice. They lose their fucking shit. They cannot fucking function. And it explains why I was in gifted program, and then my gifted program teacher says, you're not gifted in, like, it's just the shittiest fucking thing. Like just all of it. I just remember when the justice started to fall in my home, how it fell everywhere else, but it was the last to fall outside the home. And I was clinging as hard as I could to keep up what was there. And when I see stuff like this, Owen Benjamin has a campground right now. I don't know if you guys know how all that happened, but it's like, that really is tricky. That's a lot of weight for me. Just a lot of weight, because if you remember exactly how it happened, it would make sense that it maybe kind of feel a little bit of weight. But is this constructive vitriol for me? Yes.
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 Yeah.
And so even when it happens, even when I'm embarrassed or I'm ashamed of it, I bow to my opponent on the mat. And I don't like when I throw out Stefan, but also I don't like that it's how else do I say why are you measuring me next to that? I don't understand why that's fair. Like I don't. And I don't understand why you're like, well, it doesn't matter. I don't know why that doesn't matter. I can't get behind that. I feel it's our job to pollinate the world, which means it's my duty to point out the injustice that I've seen people practice. And if it happens to be injustice about me, well, then fine. I will fucking serve myself too. But I'm going to pollinate the world because I will not want to be here without it. And people like Charlie, I'm not trying to like do this, but seriously, I think about what it's like. I think about what it was like when I was in Chattanooga, and I was completely surrounded by injustice, and I didn't even know what it meant. And it's crazy making, and it could have turned me evil as fuck. Not that I'm not now, but it could have turned me even worse. Could have turned me into a horrible fucking person where I could have easily been a Charlie Kirk or someone else. Maybe not as successful, but just doing the same thing. It's I can't tell you how much I lose energy over injustice. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I wish I was getting better at it. I think the fact that maybe in my previous life, working with F. Lee Bailey, like having a law practice that was that important, that big from my grandfather, it's a lot to go from that from a world of justice to a world of just growing up how I have. Not that I had it harder, but it's just the extremes, the differences between the two. And you feel, you go fucking nuts. And honestly, there are times when I really do want to shoot this society in the face. I really have. I've really wanted to do that because I can hear the bugs. No one else can fucking hear the bugs. That like in that movie, like I can fucking hear it, and none of you can hear it. And if you will not hear it, I'm gonna allow you to hear it. And that's may sound creepy as fuck, but in my mind, this is compassion. This is why people feel the way they do. This is why if Tyler did this, if that is what the case is, it kind of looks that way to me. But if it is that way, that I can compassionate that. And that might be sick, but somebody has to. Somebody has to go, I can understand how that would occur. That's all I got.
I just want to reiterate how quickly that happened. It was a real good jiu-jitsu move there, James. I mean, just how quickly it's happened. And
yeah, that's a good point, Nancy. Yeah, you're right. It's probably in the past I would have just milked it and just left him in the room and just when you guys were all gone, I would have just been like a lot worse about it. So see, but there's no happy place. I'm upset that I kicked him out, and I also would be even more upset. I think later.
Yesenia put her scissors down, though. Yesenia put her scissors down. What were you to do?
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, man. Using the scissors is fucking hard. I feel guilty every time. I don't think I've ever felt good about it. And there's been times where I should have just felt amazing about it, like amazing. And I still don't. I feel like a failure. I I don't know why, except for I kind of like that. I just think it makes me try harder, you know? I like it. It's not worth it. I'm losing calories, but also it does keep me in the game longer. It does keep me. I've tried to compassionate Jason Bashir. He's changed his name to put an S on the end so no one can Google him easily. And that makes it even harder. Because I'm just like, holy fuck. And then you got Steve coming in. Hey, did you hear what said? And it's just like, yeah, this is some good vitriol. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. But if you stay.
It was kind of like he came in. It's like this thing about these fanboys or fangirls. I mean, it's like it's to me, it's like, what a leak of calories. The fact that you are compassionate and passionate about justice, James, makes it totally like I understand and I get it. And I'm grateful that that I'm just like, my heart is now really understanding where the Charlie Kirk thing comes in. And like, I'm just like, I'm resonating more as a cell of the whole now because I see it. And I'm really glad he came in tonight and gave that, because that was like in the midst of where we were, to bring that up was like so weirdly inappropriate and like bizarre. And I'm like, I have compassion for the bizarreness of the whole experience. So I'm glad it got whatever happened, jiu-jitsu or whatever. And Nancy, I totally related to what you were saying about like, why bother? Like with all of this stuff that's going on and feeling like I don't like belong here. I'm like, I totally relate to that feeling that you're feeling. And I'm like, I'm so grateful that you're here sharing that, because it's a universal. I really appreciate it.
thank you, Lori. I don't really want to go, but I just know that when that time comes, I'm going to like really make it a great experience. I get to like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In fact, I get, it makes me think about my mom and how she wanted to go way before she left. And, yeah. And I'm hoping maybe we'll be in a better place when that, because there's only a couple states that allow it, right? Whatever. Assisted suicide kind of thing. But I'm not getting decrepit. I watched my dad, and it was you go, Dad. I don't want to get, but maybe we'll get. I see us getting healthier because we're getting more balanced.
Yeah.
Just inside. It's such an inside job right now. That's like, I'm just so grateful to you, James, for just, be selfish. I'm going to be, and it's just made a difference. It's just really
Selfish is an inside job.
Yeah.
It is.
Love you, Nancy. That's great stuff.
Guys, I just want to let everyone know we're about 10 minutes over the 90-minute mark. James, I don't know if you want to continue. If you do, or what? I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it off. Unless you want to continue, you go ahead and say so, and maybe someone else could step into mine.
If anyone does have more to say, I will gladly listen. But no, I'm good.
I guess it really was a great meeting, and I feel honored to have been able to be a part of it. And
thanks for not raping anybody, James. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Makes a big difference.
Clinton, it was hard. There's a lot of you
I
guys. I really wanted to
you.
rape. I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to rape a lot of you guys, and I just want to say thank you.
That's the easy way. That's the easy way.
Appreciate that.
everybody unmute. Let's say good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night. Love you guys.